For me, participating in small group or men's ministry, things like that, get-togethers outside of church is really important for me personally. Checking a box on Sunday and just going on Sunday just doesn't work for me. I need reassurance throughout the week, not just Sunday, because I'm very sinful.
So I think it started for me because I was curious, because I had never been to a women's retreat or really done much, in terms of those types of things outside of going to church. And so one of the very first things that I did that was with women's ministry was with the women's retreat. And there are women that I still just look to so much and met at that time that impacted my life and have still impacted my life. And I'm so grateful for them and just the way that they opened their arms, and their faith was such a demonstration to me. I really looked to Patty Robinson. I really looked to Betsy Wickup. I really looked to Nancy Haley. And so that was just an early part of what led me to want to be involved in women's ministries, and then it really grew from there. I go back to one of the very first things was Curcio. What happened on that weekend was such a movement, such a movement in my faith journey. And from there, I think of women's retreats. And I was so shocked the first time they asked me to do my testimony. I had never been asked that before, and I had never considered what writing a testimony would be like. And there is such a faith journey that you go through when you write a testimony. It's incredible the way God works through what is supposed to be maybe for other people. He works through in you first. And I'll never forget that. And just the power of the people that were praying for me as I was writing the testimony, and I didn't know that. And that was really a beautiful journey to go through that.
I've been participating in the last couple years as our men's group on Monday nights. We meet with a great group of guys that talk about how they're doing, how I'm doing. And the biggest thing that I've found is holding each other accountable as Christian men and leaders in the family to go out and spread that word of Jesus and be there for each other, support each other. Really, that word accountable has really changed the way I go throughout my week. And I think it's really helped our relationship, not to mention all of those 22 years. There's a lot of a lot of other moments back in the day, but most recently that's been a big change in our lives, I think, and mine especially.
It makes you a better man.
Yeah.
It makes you a stronger leader of our family by having those times. And I've noticed that so much over the last couple of years with the Monday nights, that Dennis is reset on Sunday. Yes, like we all get reset on Sunday, but he is reset on Monday as the leader of our household.
In our past church history, we lacked some of the outreach that Light of the Desert, go and make disciples, go out there, make a friend, be a friend, bring the friend to Jesus. Some of that was a little new, I think, in some ways. It was more, our past was more, go to church on Sundays, read the Bible. It was more of a personal, religious thing and not something that was preached to be shared as much as Light of the Desert has been great on outreach. And it's a fulfilling thing to go out and, bring someone to church and see their faith grow.
We grew up in a very strict type of religion, and it was a lot about law and what they believed. But the big shift before and after, when I think about that, is now it's about a relationship with Jesus. I never understood that, and I'll never forget when Pastor Paul talked about that in a sermon, how Jesus wants to be in a personal relationship with me. I had never thought of that concept before. That was foreign. And so the last 20 years have been all about building a relationship with Jesus, building trust that he is always going to take care of us no matter what, and that he loves us so much on that deep personal level. On a lighter note, there is nothing that'll bring you closer to Jesus than back in the day when we had to print bulletins. And I got to pass that duty along to my fellow sister in Christ, Patty Robinson.
The men's ministry, the small groups, those types of things, especially when it comes to our relationship in marriage. I talked about, not only being accountable for your own actions and for that, but also like in how you love your wife. We've talked about Ephesians 5:25, love your wife as Christ loved the church and laid down his life for her. It's a powerful statement. He laid down his life for her, and being willing to want to be a better husband, not only for her but for God, and that's really made a difference in our marriage.
Well, Light of the Desert has been with us through 4 children, and raising them and going through an adoption process. I can't think of another group of people that could have gotten us through all of that the way that Light of the Desert did, and has and continues to. Now, I will forever be grateful for that, for the people that came alongside of us when things were hard, and also came alongside of us for celebrations, for baptisms and confirmations. Those things are so monumental in the journey of faith for our children. And I'll never forget to one wise person from Light of the Desert said at one point that our children are on loan to us. And there again, as a young mother, I thought to myself, oh no, my baby is mine. I'm in control. And we're not in control. And our children are on loan to us. And at some point, we have to be willing to trust the Lord over what we can control. Because in control, as we try to control things, it's complete chaos. And it wasn't until I really, really, really gave in to that and said, I can't do this, Lord. I can't do it without you, that things really turned around and changed.